Good afternoon. I am Imani Daniels, and this is my presentation on SSH and OpenSSH for Cyber 4220. This is our next service topic, and the next thing we will be configuring for our machines. We've been asked to research SSH and OpenSSH for information and ways to harden this service. First, I'll talk a little bit about what SSH is and why we use it. SSH stands for Secure Socket Shell or Secure Shell. The SSH protocol is a network protocol that gives the user the ability to use a secure computer on an unsecure network. SSH comes with password and public key authentication. SSH also utilizes an encrypted data communication between computers that are communicating or connecting over a network. This network may be unsecure or open, for example, the internet. SSH can also be used to interact with system or apps remotely. This allows the capability of remote access to another computer, which can be used to move files or issue commands. Once a connection has been established between the SSH client and server, the data is encrypted according to the parameters that were in the setup. During the setup of the client, the servers agree on the symmetric encryption that's going to be used and then generate the encryption key. SSH utilizes the client-server model. The client-server model is when a client requests any service or resource from the server. The advantages of utilizing this model is that because it is built on a centralized architecture, this makes it simpler to strengthen security around data by using access controls. These controls are then secured with various security policies. A disadvantage of the client-server model is that the number of requests can impact performance. If many requests are being made, this can cause an overload or a denial of service. SSH allows the execution of application-specific protocols that can be used to transfer files or terminal emulation. The public key authentication method is primarily used for automation and is sometimes used by system administrators for when they need a single sign-on. It ends up being more widely used than originally anticipated, but the idea is to have a cryptographic key pair and then a public and private key pair, and to then configure that public key on a server, which will give access or grant anyone who has a copy of the private key access to the server. SSH was created as a way to replace the insecure terminal as well as replacing remote capabilities that ended up being less secure. SSH also has the capabilities of replacing FTP, which is the file transfer protocol, and RCP, which is remote copying. The SSH protocol comes standard with both Linux and Unix, as well as Mac servers. This can be utilized to remote upload any updates to systems, remote host, and other types of management or administrative tasks. It can also be used to manage routers, hardware, and other various operations that can occur on remote systems. OpenSSH for Linux comes with a set of tools that include remote control, data transfer, and other tools that will help the user to modify the Linux system. OpenSSH will utilize SSHD, which will constantly listen on a network for any client-side connections. In order to install OpenSSH, you would use the command sudo apt install OpenSSH-client. For the server, you would use the command sudo apt install OpenSSH-server. You can alter the configurations for SSH in the sshd_config file. Editing this file includes changing the default behavior of the OpenSSH application, as well as communication and authentication settings. To prevent the loss of your SSH server, you want to check the configuration after you change it, as well as before you restart your server. The command you would use is sudo /etc/etc/etc/sshd_config. OpenSSH comes with authentication keys. It utilizes a private key as well as a public key. To create these keys from a terminal, you would enter the command ssh-keygen -t RSA. The RSA at the end of the command will generate the keys with the RSA algorithm. The RSA algorithm is a public key crypto system which will help to secure data that is transmitted between machines. You can also modify how many bits your keys have by using the command ssh-keygen -t RSA -b, and then how many bits you want to be generated. Once you generate a key, you will then be prompted to enter a password. The default public key is created in the file /ssh.id_rsa.pub, and the private key is /ssh/id_rsa. You then want to copy the id_rsa.pub file to where your remote host is located. This will add it to the .ssh/authorized_keys with the command ssh-copy-id, your username at your remote host. And lastly, you want to check your permissions on the authorized key file using the command chmod 600.sh/authorized_keys. Another way to harden your OpenSSH server is utilizing a two-factor authentication system. OpenSSH has a support for authentication devices to provide more security for servers. To use this, you can generate a new key pair for the hardware device. This comes with two key types, ECDSA-SK as well as ED25519-SK. The first gives the user a broader range of hardware support, while the second can be used with more recent devices. And then my references. Thank you.